Two Jack Bros! Two Jack Bros!
Welcome back to Two Jack Bros. And if it's your first time, thank you for giving us a shot. Welcome to you as well. I am Sidney. I am sitting next to Ansley.
Hello.
And today our guest is none other than the Sarah Bell.
Hello.
What
Hi.
is up?
What's up?
So happy to have you here. And you can check out Sarah Bell at one of the coolest Instagram, Twitter names you'll ever hear, at Cerebellum,
Yes.
right there. Check her out. And, of course, check out our Patreon. $1 gets you all of our content, and you'll get the counter to this episode. You have time to stick around for the Patreon. We didn't even ask you.
Yeah. Whatever.
yeah.
I'm just along
Well,
for the
the
ride.
pressure's on.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I
that
start
was
sweating,
a fucked up thing I just
Yeah.
did.
I'm
Yeah.
sweating, but it's,
Yeah.
let's do it.
So, Sarah, do you know what we do on this podcast?
I don't.
Okay.
And I went to ask someone and they said that they wanted me to go in blind. So
Nice.
Nice. Who was that? Who did you ask?
Ray.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, man, she's a fan. So I
She
see
is a
that
big
was a
fan, and
very
she was
selfish
like,
thing she
"Don't."
just did.
And I don't know if she was setting me up, so I kind of felt conflicted, but I was, like, whatever.
Yeah.
I trust you guys.
Cool. Awesome. Perfect.
Yeah.
So basically, the whole premise of this podcast is to prove that you can have like a dark sense of humor and still reach enlightenment or a higher consciousness. So what we do is we take our guest, who is you today, through the process of enlightenment,
Okay.
so that Ansley and me and our listeners can laugh our way to a higher consciousness, because this is too intimidating for us.
All right.
So you cool with that?
Yeah. I'm definitely
Yeah.
into the dark part of it. And then
Yeah. Oh,
the
yeah.
enlightened. I've never been enlightened, but let's
Yeah.
go for it.
You're into the Patreon. You want to do the Patreon first. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, everybody gets the same questions.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna move that down so everyone can see
yeah.
that pretty face of yours.
Hey, what's up?
And Ansley,
Yes.
let's get started.
All right. So, Sarah, what situation or event did you learn the most information from?
What? What situation or event did I learn the most information from? Can it be like a long,
Yeah.
probably college.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I went through a lot of different phases in college, and do you want me to elaborate
Yeah.
why I think that?
Please
Okay.
do.
I don't know. Yeah. I kind of just, I didn't set out. Maybe when I was like a kid, I didn't always think like, oh, I'm going to go to college. And then I just saw everybody else doing it and was like, oh, I'm going to do that. And then I excelled really a lot in college,
Yeah.
but also it was really terrifying and really difficult.
Okay. So wait, what did you major in college, and how did you pick it?
I majored in math and education.
Yeah.
And I think I had a hard time learning when I was a kid, and then math kind of was really easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw how terrible my math teachers were and how much everybody else struggled. So I was like, I could be a better teacher than that.
Oh, so you're going to be a math teacher?
Kind of. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that common for you? Do you often see people suck at something and you're like, I could do that?
Yeah, that's what happened. That's how I ended up doing stand-up comedy. Like, no joke.
Like two of your major life decisions ever
Yes.
came from you looking at shitty people going, yeah, I'm better than
I
that.
was like, it wasn't just that I looked at people and thought that. It was like I looked at people and said, somebody needs to be better.
Holy shit.
And that could be me.
The hero they need.
Yeah. Like, people need better math teachers. People need better comedians. And I'm like, I'll do it.
That's pretty sick. So now you're in college, and what is impacting you the most? This is a new experience. College tends to be eye-opening for people. What's hitting you the hardest?
I guess just like being on my own, because I'm like one of 5, and I have very intense siblings. So I never really actually had any experiences where I was like socializing and just getting to be myself.
Yeah, where do you fall in the 5?
Right in the middle.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is there a sister? Are there older sisters?
No, I have 2 older brothers.
So do you have to, as the eldest sister then, did you have to take care of everybody?
I feel like the circumstances were kind of that I was taking care of people, but
Yeah.
I think I put that on myself a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not blaming the brothers. But actually, what I'm saying is, what up, boys?
Yeah.
Shout out, bros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then do you have a younger brother and a younger sister?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're one of 5. You go to college. You're on your own.
Okay.
And I know some of your siblings. Like you
Yeah.
said, you have 10 siblings. What was it like dealing with that many people at once that weren't your siblings? Like in a living situation.
Yeah. I mean, I had one roommate my freshman year, and she was actually pretty cool. We got along really well. And then I was an athlete, so I like met a bunch of people that I had a common thing with right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think I kind of get along. I think being a middle child and having intense people in my family, I'm kind of like an adapter. So I kind of get along with everybody. But yeah, I think I like didn't really try to have my own personality until I got to college.
Oh. What did
know
you
if that
try
makes
first?
sense.
Yeah. No, I totally completely understand. When I went to college, I was really debating over whether or not to go in with a French accent. Like more like Creole, like more like a Creole thing.
Were you already the only black person there? I think that would have been too much for people.
No, it was. Can anybody be the only black person at any college at this point?
Dude, I went to a very white college, so maybe that's why my brain goes there.
Yeah, I mean, but very, very white is very white to you, but to the black people on campus, they hang around each other.
Yeah.
You know, so
if there's a group of them.
you find you go into the neighborhood and you like fucking enlist people into the school. Just take one credit. Just take a credit. No, I was our school was 98% white when we went there. When I
Was
went
it?
Yeah, when I went there, it was 98% white.
Gotcha.
So-
I thought you said white woman for a second. Like I heard that for
I
a second,
wish.
and I was like, no. To me, that sounds terrifying. They're getting too much done there.
Yeah. So no, it was but yeah, I mean, so if you had to wrap up and distill what you got from that whole entire college experience, that the information that you got, how would you say it?
I guess just like growth and like I don't know, becoming a person. I don't know if that makes sense. This is such a crazy question. I feel like I don't. And also it's like the experience of going college has forced me to feel like there's a right answer to something. So I'm like, I don't think I answered correctly.
I mean, I think that's correct enough. Do you
Yeah,
have
sure.
questions?
Well, I was gonna ask, did your other siblings go to college?
Kind of.
Some college?
No, yeah. I think my oldest brother has an associate's degree. My sister went for a little bit, but it wasn't really for her. And then my youngest brother went to Penn.
Okay.
So he's like the golden child.
Yeah.
He's very bright.
I was just curious because like where I came from, it was like everybody was expected to go to college, you know? So I was just curious because you were like, you said you never planned on it. And it wasn't like, you know, you weren't sure that that's where you were going to go.
Yeah, but also too, the answer was kind of at first when she said, did your other siblings go to college? And you said kind of. And I feel like the associate's degree is doing the heavy lifting for that kind of. Because you had one that went to, you could have just said yes because one went to Penn. And he could have covered everybody. But you were like, kind of. My one brother has an associate's degree. which is,
Well, I don't know. I thought I guess now I'm thinking that I am supposed to be giving lots of information. Like there's a point to the question.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just, that is the question. Like, what experience in your life has given you the most information? Like when you think back to when you were impacted the most and the most overwhelmed with new information.
I gotta be honest, I feel like I gave an answer that's like I don't know, the stuff probably that gave me the most information is just sad, and I wouldn't think that it would be interesting to talk about.
Well, that's kind of this. I'll say this: you're in a safe place to talk about whatever it is that needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
People come on this podcast and
There's tissues beside you.
Oh my god.
yeah, yes.
I'm gonna jerk off.
Perfect.
I mean, that is what I do when I'm sad, so it just kind of all makes sense.
Okay, but I mean, but just answer to your level of comfort.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't think you're pressuring me. I'm just like overthinking maybe a little bit.
Okay, well,
We'll get there.
We'll see what happens as we go, right? So now we're going to get into the actual enlightenment process. That right there was kind of like the icebreaker that everybody gets
Okay.
to make everybody comfortable with
I feel,
didn't seem to work.
yeah, I feel broken. I
Yeah,
feel the
yeah, yes.
breaker part.
Yes. The ice has broken, Sarah Bell. So sorry. So now we're going to go through opening up the chakras to
Oh my God,
through the
okay.
path to enlightenment. Are you ready
Okay,
for this?
yes, for sure.
All right, Ansley, keep it moving.
So Sarah, we're gonna start with your survival chakra. Sorry.
It's the root chakra.
Yeah, your root
It's
chakra.
in your butthole.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how did you learn to overcome fear?
I guess like just being more afraid of not living my life than doing the things that I'm afraid of. So like, I don't know if that's like a circular answer, but
No, it isn't. It's a really good answer. But can you illustrate that for us though? Because it's we hear so many different answers to that question. I can't even begin to try to profile how that looks.
I guess I'm like a little afraid of everything, but my biggest fear is that those little fears would get in the way of me like fulfilling my dreams and goals in life. So it's like I have anxiety and I just try to cope with it through pushing myself just maybe a little bit outside my comfort zone, so that or like if there's something that I want to do and I have anxiety about it, I'm gonna like I want to do that thing more than I don't want to conquer my fear. Is that
Yeah, no, I get
That's
that.
pretty
yeah.
straightforward.
Yeah,
I think that's how I live my life.
yeah.
That's the reason why I ever did anything. Like I have never wanted to ever fight anybody ever in my life.
yeah.
It's a terrifying proposition, but it was like the idea of that person thinking I'm afraid of them
Yeah.
terrified me even more for some reason.
Yeah.
I think it's because then my mom would get involved.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
It's like, but I mean, I feel like I carry that into a lot of the things that I do. So do you remember a time in your life when you were the most scared? Everybody gets the same questions.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I've like gone through some really terrifying experiences. And yeah. I mean, this question feels super personal, but
They're pretty personal.
Yeah,
Questions are pretty
man.
personal.
I should have listened to the questions. Like, I would have come in here. I probably still would have teared up or something. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think probably the scariest thing or most what did you ask?
Like the time in your life when you were the most scared.
Most scared, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I lost my dad when I was a kid, and that was pretty scary.
Yeah.
And not like even that experience itself, but like a lot of the aftermath of that, of like not really trusting what was going on in the world and being nervous that like another bad thing was going to happen, or also like watching a lot of chaos around me, of being like scared for people in my life not handling it as well as maybe I was, or something like that.
How old were you?
I was in 7th grade. I think I was 10.
Wait,
11.
Finn's 9, and he'll be 10 in 5th grade. So
I
like
was
12,
11.
11, 12.
11, 12.
Yeah, I
If
think
you
I'm
were-
like
you have summer
young.
birthday? Or,
Yeah, I was 11, I think.
Yeah, 11. I would have been 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a very young and impressionable age. And as far as okay, how I don't want to make you uncomfortable. So, is there anything else that you, as far as the fear and how you handled it? I guess the reason why I always ask that follow-up question is to find what point in a person's life they started to use implement the technique that they use to overcome fear. Like when did you realize that it was more there was more fear revolved around not doing what you wanted than the fear of failure.
Yeah. I mean, I think that comes through in that experience. It's like I watched my mom be kind of sad and spend a lot of time not living her life. And I saw my, dad was not expecting to be that young when he passed. So I think just like that, when I was really young, I learned that life is pretty short and anything can change at any time. So it's like, I'm not going to let my fear of like even holding off on doing something because I'm afraid of it. Like if I want to do it today, I'm going to conquer my fear today and not just put it off till tomorrow and I'm not like some fucking hero. I'm like sit around and do nothing every other day, but I'm just saying like, I try to be proactive and like not, because I've also had experiences that have been really traumatic where I've gotten depressed and sucked down. And then eventually I'm like, okay, that fear kicks in of being like, I'm afraid of not experiencing something cool in my lifetime. And I would get myself back up and get it together.
What type of cool things pull you back? Like what's the, like in my mind it was like, maybe you're depressed and you're like, man, if I don't get my shit together, I'll never be able to do a kickflip. Like I don't know, like what kind of cool things.
For me, it's an ollie. I don't think I could ever nail the kickflip. Just like maybe like a fucking whatever it is when you just up on 2 wheels. Yeah, I mean, I think just anything. Like I'll have depressed days where I don't leave the house, and then like something will bother me, and I'm like, I gotta go for a walk. And then I go for a walk and some person's sitting on the street and I'm like, yo, what's up? And they'll say, hey, what's up? And they'll go, beautiful day. And I'm like, you're right. So just like kind of like I mean, like getting sucked into my depression is like a fear and like not living my life. So I just try to get up and get out of my head sometimes.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah. You consider that a chakra unlocked?
Yes.
Is that?
Yeah. No, thank
Wow.
you for sharing. Yeah. Yeah, it's happening. It's happening.
I wish there was like a cool I've unlocked your butthole.
Yeah.
Sound effects.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, I've unlocked your butthole.
Just like
Your butthole's
like,
been unlocked.
yeah. Yes. We'll get on that. We'll add sounds to it and we'll call them the Sarah Bell sound effects.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So Ansley, keep it moving.
All right, we are to the pelvis chakra.
Oh wow.
So Sarah, this is a little segment we like to call My Bad. So it's a chance for you to apologize to a person, place, or thing in order to set your karma back to neutral.
But I'm perfect. My bad. I feel like I've been going through a series of my bads in my life in a good, positive way. I don't think I would want to share anything. Like, I don't think I could share any of those things because they've already been resolved and they're personal. My bad.
Yeah. Well, if they've been resolved, then it wouldn't count anyway. Yeah.
Something, a person that I would apologize to. This is like a really hard question because I really don't. I don't think I have bad karma. Is that delusional?
I don't know.
Can you give me an example of something?
Of someone you should apologize to. Let me see your phone.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm saying like I recently squashed all my beefs.
Yeah.
I've been
Okay.
wiping out bad karma.
So if I would have had to give out an apology, I guess something that was sitting with me. So the other, like Father's Day was recently, and we went over to my stepmom's house for Father's Day, and my stepmom had just recently lost her husband. And typically when we go over there for like something like Father's Day, his kids would be showing up, and everything. And we went over and we had a good time, but I don't know. I felt like I think my brother was feeling the same way. It was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I lived up to that pressure, and I'm sorry, if I didn't.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. I don't know if I was being present in a proper way, or I didn't even ask her about her husband because I didn't know what they were close, so it's hard to.
Yeah.
It's because their two favorite kids weren't there.
Exactly. Dude, it was like me and Derek. It's like, oh
Yeah.
God, you got the B team here. Oh my God, what are we doing?
You're like, I
Yeah.
should have came later.
Yeah, she
No.
called the star on FaceTime for a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was like, can you just put him up on the mantle and
Keep
let him
him
be here? don't hang up, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was tough. She had the B team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm sorry you had the B team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think I got one now.
okay.
So I work for this old lady. Her husband's 101.
Wow. Shout out.
He's awesome. His name's Bob. He's really dope person. She's amazing. She called me the other day at like 8 a.m. because he fell, and she was trying to get me to go over there and help him up, but I was tired, so I ignored the call.
Bob is still on the ground.
Bob.
She worked it out. She scooched him over to the steps and got him up from there. But
Good for her.
Yeah. So that was kind of a my bad. I do go over and help.
Yeah.
I was very tired. I had
Yeah.
just gotten into bed a couple hours. It's like that's a my bad, but I will say barely. I'll say my bad now that I'm
Yeah.
looking for it,
But it's also too. It's not like you knew the call you were avoiding. You know. You just
yeah,
avoided
no. Yeah.
You know,
I
which
ignored her
is-
call. I was
yeah.
pretty confident what it was. There's only one time. There's only one reason she calls me.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much that. So,
Bob, you take.
but I
pills?
didn't know for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ignored it so that I didn't have to say no. I just hit her with the voicemail.
Yeah. I used to go help an old neighbor that fell when we were living in the other house. And when the husband would fall,
Yeah.
and she would come and get me to help, and I would go up to help, and he just wanted to stay there.
Like
It's just
in
like,
between the bed
yeah,
and the wall.
it's just like leave me alone. This is where I want to
my
be.
God.
Yeah, he was hilarious. But
He was with it or not?
I don't know. That's the only time I ever dealt with him.
When he was in small crevices.
Yeah.
That was how did that come to be?
Because one time I helped her move an air conditioner, and she was just like, "I think he can help me pick up my husband when he falls."
Nice.
Yeah,
She was doing that like Homer Simpson thing where he sees someone's face turn into cheeseburger, but she was watching you carry the air conditioner, and she's like, she's a mirage of her husband in your arms.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He never really let me help him though.
No.
I always ended up leaving.
Interesting.
Yeah, I never really got a chance to be a community hero. You know, I think he was like one of those things where he was like, I'm just gonna stay here and not have to deal with you. And she was like, no, I'm gonna get somebody to pick you up. You're dealing with me. You know, so I think it was one of those things.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
he probably was with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He knew how annoying she was then.
Absolutely. And you know, we're not gonna bash old people now. That's not what this is about. But
No,
we can do
I
that.
love them. They're crazy.
Yeah. But they're fun to bash.
It is
And,
funny.
yeah. So thank you for sharing that. By the way,
Okay, my bad.
you searched the recesses of your mind and you found.
Yeah,
an
my
apology.
real bad was not having an answer for that question. That's my bad.
Yeah, it's all good. But you weren't prepared. we're perfectly fine with that. Ansley, keep it moving.
All right,
Okay.
Sarah, we are to the gut chakra. So how?
Oh wait, chakra unlocked. By the way, that pelvis chakra. Yes.
So how do you move through disappointment, especially when you're disappointed in yourself?
I think I try to look at the things that I have accomplished and like where I came from or where I could be, so that if I'm disappointed in myself, it's like in perspective of, you know, how much worse it could be, I guess. Or
I could
Not-
really be a fuck up.
I do think that. I mean, it comes back to me looking at people not being able to do shit. And like, I could do better. I just look at myself that way where I'm like, I could be really. But yeah, I mean, I think also I try to accept people for exactly what they're capable of, so that I'm not disappointed in them, including myself.
Yeah.
So try not to like, yeah.
Did you ever trick yourself into believing you had more capabilities in something than you had?
Yeah. For sure. What about you? Just kidding.
I mean, I don't know. I only see try.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's but also I kind of accept the fact that I'm going to be pretty retarded at most things.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I think. If people would claim that I'm good at things, right? But I don't see it that way because I'm just trying my hardest.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that's me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like to do a ton of things if I know I'm not going to be good at them. Like, I'm not going to go play tennis. And I know I'm not going to be good at it.
Where are you lacking that's going to make you bad at tennis?
My heart's not in it.
You just haven't seen a shitty enough tennis player to make you be like, tennis needs me.
Yeah, dude. If I saw someone really eating it at tennis, I'd probably go in and be like, I could whip their ass. But
yeah.
No.
Okay. So in this section, another thing that I always like to ask. Now I know you did a sport, but I'm just going to ask the question. I always ask the question, which is, did you ever have in a sport or like theater performance type of situation where you were really disappointed in yourself? That is. Or I guess the way I normally ask it is a sports thing or a theater thing where you disappointed yourself.
Again, I don't want to sound crazy, but I have been pretty successful at most of the things that I've tried. I think I'm disappointed in myself when I don't do something or stick to something long enough or as long as I should. But no, I mean, like I really try not to be disappointed in myself. I don't think it's like a good thing to do.
Well, again, I'm not asking about times when you lingered on disappointment. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be something that is you think about for the rest of your life, even though a lot of my sports disappointments I think about every fucking day. Sarah, I played football one time, and I had a chance. I always played defense, and I got in for an offensive possession where the ball was going to get thrown to me in the end zone for a 2-point conversion, and our team would have definitely won. Now, if we don't get the 2-point conversion, we tie, and we have to, and hit me point blank in the middle of the numbers and bounced right off my chest.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah. But yeah, I think about that from time to time. But it was probably my biggest sports disappointment, but it doesn't matter.
I was such a psycho athlete. I would literally make it to the end of a race in rowing and pass out, and they'd have to pull me out of the boat because I was like half alive. So I don't think I could give it any more than when I was really competitive. I think I was always like had my head in it. But I think like in life, I'm disappointed in myself when I get like too drunk and make a fool out of myself.
How often do you do that?
It's not the rarest thing. My MO is kind of that, like, if I'm drunk enough that I start to feel like I might be embarrassing, I'll just ghost everyone and leave. I'll just disappear. So it doesn't happen so much anymore. But when I was a kid, I think I just had like all this built up anger and was confused. No one was like really helping me out. And like when I started partying, I would get blacked out. I would like yell at my friends. I would start punching things. I like broke my hand hitting a wall and stuff like that.
You were party pooping.
And the next day I would feel like so disappointed in myself and sad.
Were you party pooping in college too?
Yeah, carried over a little bit in college.
Okay.
But I wasn't like, I really didn't, it wasn't like all the time that would happen. It was just like, you know, if I got really wasted because I had all these like demons inside me.
Yeah. Was there a peak moment of that?
Yeah, I had like a couple really bad nights, and like at one point my one friend was like, you gotta go talk to somebody because this is
like not even about the drinking, it was the anger.
Yeah, for sure. I think I like bit some kid. And they were like, you're done. You're becoming a liability.
Yeah. You have no questions on that?
I don't know.
She just said she'd been
man.
a kid, and you're over there just nothing.
It's,
don't know.
It
I mean,
is funny,
Yeah,
but
it's
also it's like
hilarious.
it's honestly mostly sad. Like I feel like all these everything personal about me is a little bit. It's a little sad.
Okay, I'm not gonna.
I'm like impressed that you had friends that were like sticking around and like telling you to get help.
Yeah.
I really,
where-
I really had like one friend. I really had like one friend that I think at like one point was like, "Hey," but I definitely like
was it the person you bit?
no. I think that was like a random stranger.
A stranger?
Yeah.
Still no questions. What
Did
part-
you break the skin?
Yeah.
I found out or It's
Yeah.
not something.
What part
I
of the
remember.
body did you bite him on?
I think that like he was trying to carry me out of somewhere, and I was like bit his arm or something like that. It's from what I recall.
He was trying to remove you from a location. You mean, or he was carrying?
It wasn't
on-
like a bouncer or anything. It was like I think this guy was like kind of being a dick and was like, "Let's get her out of here."
Wait.
It was a self-defense
Yeah.
fight, but in his defense, I was being a ridiculous
Exactly.
person.
And he probably was. He was saving. He was trying to save the party. You were party
and
pooping.
me for myself.
Yeah. Okay.
But he failed, and that's what I'm saying. I'm successful at everything I do, including
By-
ruining a party.
Dude, he's got to still think about that.
No
Yeah.
way. No
Yes
way.
way.
No way.
Dude, anytime a little altercation happens anywhere, like at a party or people start dusting up, he's like, no, let it go. She'll bite you. Like, dude,
I don't know.
you never know. You never know who's going to bite you. Or he's probably just sitting around going, man, I wonder what happened to that girl that bit me that one day.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember it. I don't think about it. This is the first time I've thought about it.
Okay.
And it's definitely not even the worst thing. But
Okay, we're not going to dwell.
yeah,
We're not going to dwell.
have I opened up my gut yet?
Yeah, that's an open gut.
Yeah.
Gut
Yeah.
exposed.
You got a few things out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the most gut we had open
Yeah.
so far. Sneakily, you're sneakily opening up these shops.
I'm starting now. As we're going, I do feel like I'm being better at this. So
Okay, cool.
Let's keep it rolling.
All right, let's keep it moving, Ansley.
We are to your heart chakra, Sarah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Sarah, what have you learned from grief?
Oh my god. Man, this is crazy. You guys are asking two hard questions. What have I learned from grief? I guess that everyone's different. Like through my own experience with grief, and then also helping other people with their experience, because I experienced stuff at a really young age,
Mhm.
and then also a couple other times in my life. But I do think it's like one of the things that everybody really does go through in a very different way. And every single experience that you've had up until the point where you go through something that you need to grieve informs that. So it's like really hard to even explain to somebody like what you need or what you're feeling when you're going through a grieving process. And yeah, I think that that's like, yeah, everyone's very different, because you can see how that flows through someone going through grief.
Yeah.
There was somebody else who had kind of a tragic story, like losing a family members that said a similar thing. Like, do you remember?
I mean, I feel like almost like most of the people lost a family member. A lot of the people. So it's like I'm trying to remember which one. I think it's always some version of that, or it's always some version. No matter how nuanced it is, it tends to be some version of like let people do it how they do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's yeah, I can't remember specifically the person. I feel like multiple people probably.
Yeah.
know. And you're picking one, so you have a favorite. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So there's like three people like it's me.
Yeah.
So is there a particular grief experience where that was crystallized for you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, I guess when Ramus passed away, it was kind of felt that way when the whole kind of community went through something. And I feel like that was kind of an interesting time because I went through a different personal experience that I was grieving around that, and also trying to be very understanding of how everybody else was reacting. And I think through that, like, really learned how to be understanding and kind to people when they're going through something that maybe is even conflicting with how I'm feeling.
Yeah, and Ansley, so Tim Ramus was the comedian that passed away some years. Finn was like 2, so it was like close to 7 years ago.
It was probably like more like 6
years. So
it'll be
and really good comedian. It was a guitar comic, but just like a funny comedian altogether. And I want to say this: the reason why I'm elaborating on this. So Ansley lost her mother last year. Last year.
Sorry.
And Ansley's mom was a really big part of her life, and she was one of these very unique people that everybody in her life felt that they had a special, unique relationship with her.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And Tim Ramus was that guy.
Yeah.
Like
as a comic, everybody did have like a really positive story, and there were like so many people at his funeral, and it was just very intense. But yeah, like everybody, I think also like seeing young people go through something like that, whether they felt close to that, like particularly close to him or not, it might have been the first person that they've lost in their life. So that's significant. So it's like they might be feeling a way that comes across as inappropriate to somebody that was closer to them, but like you really don't know what their experiences with death up until that point in their life. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that was a very interesting time period. And
yeah, but probably that. I mean, like losing my dad.
Yeah.
Was it hard, like being the age you were when you lost your dad, and like grown-ups, like different people trying to comfort you? I feel like, like I just imagine it age, you like grow in a way, you grow up very quickly, or you feel grown up because you're dealing with like real large, like real issues. And then grown-ups are probably saying like the stupidest things to you.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like my family's just not like, they're all really great people, but they're not great always at being a family. So I actually don't feel like there were a lot of adults around after that. Like my mom was a little checked out for a little bit. Yeah. Like understandably so. Like my dad got sick really quickly, and it was just a really fast thing that happened out of nowhere. I feel like I didn't have like that many. I feel like I was in a weird spot because I didn't really have any friends at the time because I had just moved to a different school. And then also, I didn't really have any like adults other than my parents in my life. So it was kind of a weird time. But that's, I think, like why I was like, I was just like, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to go to college like everybody else. Like I just kind of was like, I'm going to do all these things, keep myself busy. Yeah. But. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing all of that.
Yes.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Call that a heart chakra unlocked.
Oh, no.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna clip all of her little sound effects for each one and like play them. Okay, Ansley, keep it moving.
All right, Sarah, we are to the throat chakra now. What is a favorite lie that you have told, and you get extra karmic points if it's still in rotation?
A favorite lie? Interesting. I don't know if this is even really a lie as much as a weird thing.
Yeah, okay.
But I'll share this. When I was a kid, I was like, had a weird anxiety about clearing my throat. I thought that it was gross and a weird thing to do.
I have to do it now.
You have to go for it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I had a weird thing about it. I did not want to clear my throat if I was around other people. So I like would fake sneeze to clear my throat. And I don't know when I started doing it. Like I was pretty young. I did it for years and years and years and years. And then at one point I did it and my sister was like, bless you. And I was like, oh, it wasn't really a sneeze. I was clearing my throat. She was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, oh, I just do that. And she was like, no one, that's not a thing. And I definitely don't do that anymore. I haven't thought about that in forever, but I'm thinking it's still a pretty good idea.
Yeah. Until you come across somebody that's like, did you ever notice that Sarah was allergic to about to talk?
I've come so far.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is. It's very weird. It is it's a very weird smoke screen that you're using out there.
Yeah. And it's also just like, I don't know where that came from that I thought that I should be anxious about clearing my throat.
It's also one of the craziest things about it is
My
that
throat chakra.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even think about that.
But clearing your throat is an internal grossness. Sneezing is now we're all dealing with it.
I think my thought was that like, if I have to sneeze, no one's going to be upset about that because it's a sneeze. I just have to do it. You don't have to clear your throat unless you're like choking.
It's true.
Yeah, it is true, but I find sneezes way more offensive. Just in general, right? Even before
Definitely now. But
yeah.
COVID time, you can't sneeze.
Because I put it to you this way. When somebody sneezes, do you immediately try to find them to see if they covered their mouth or handled it appropriately? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. When somebody clears their throat, I guess you look at them, you're like, oh, what are they about to say? But it's not like...
That's, I think, maybe where my fear came from. I was like, I do not want to demand the attention of everybody in the room.
You couldn't handle the prestige of clearing your throat?
Like 99% of the time when I sneeze, people ignore it. So I'm going to go with that one.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to hit them with a... You know?
Yeah, that's... Yeah, it's pretty fucking weird, Sarah. Thank you for sharing that. That might be the weirdest lie we've gotten so far.
Yeah, I like it though.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can use that if you're ever on a plane and you feel weird about clearing your
Do
throat.
not sneeze on a plane. Yeah, that's definitely a throat chakra unlocked. So, Ansley, keep it moving.
All right, we are now to the third eye chakra. So we're out of the physical into the metaphysical.
Wow.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what is something that you've always thought of as separate, but as you've gotten older, you're really learning that it's the same?
That's like such a confusing... Can you say that again?
Yeah, the same way.
The same.
So what's something that you've always thought of as separate, but you're learning now that it's the same?
Close.
I don't even get... I'm not sure I understand the question. Something that I've always thought is separate, but I realize it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't... I really don't know.
So an example people have given, or is it somebody's given, was like family and friends. Like when you're younger, like your family and you have your friends. And as you get older, you realize that like, you know, your friends become your family. And maybe some people that are blood family, you're like, I don't really need them in my life. So that like, you know, the line between family and friends becomes blurred.
Yeah, the line between family and friends becomes blurred.
Yeah, that's still such a difficult question. I feel like, yeah, I guess, I don't know. I really am I feel dumb right now, but I don't have an answer to this question.
I mean, there's no rush at the moment. Do you have another example loaded?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's okay. You don't have to apologize. This is you are being ambushed right now, and I think you're handling it
I'm
very
also
well.
like, am I supposed to be being funny? Because I feel like I'm not, and
yeah, it's
I should have
probably asked before 47 minutes into the podcast. No, you're doing.
Sorry.
You're
Yeah,
you're
I
great.
think these
You're
are-
doing
these-
great.
I
You're
I
being
just had a
great.
really weird day.
I'm sure this isn't making it less
yeah,
weird.
this is so
So
crazy.
you have a weird day and then show up to some interracial couple's house and
How did
divulge all your
you
intimate
read-
secrets.
Yeah.
maybe.
All right.
Something that I think is separate but is the same. Yeah, I mean,
What was another one was somebody was talking about they like learning things, right? Like you in the idea that you learn how to learn, right? So like when you're younger, you might the look you're giving me, you're like, that's fucking bullshit.
no. I'm just
you know
like,
what I
how could somebody possibly just be answering these questions like off the cuff, being funny and sad all at the same time?
It's just being a person. I mean, you're
Yeah.
you're gonna watch this back and be like, oh
I'm-
shit, I was killing.
No way.
Yes, yes. This
No
is,
way.
no, people are gonna love this episode.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't know, like my existence maybe, but I feel like I'm gonna sound like a psychopath if I answer this question.
I mean,
But
yeah, we've had about 30 different psychopaths come
Yeah.
on the show and answer this question.
I don't know. I mean,
But what when
I
you
think everything, like I try to compartmentalize everything, and then I realize that that's like a waste of time or something like that. Like I'm trying to, I don't know, be in the flow state. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. This seems like a crazy question. Now I'm also, sorry, I'm getting in my head about something I said, so I'm just being weird. Okay. Yeah, I'm not allowed to pass. You guys asked everyone the same questions. Now I'm gonna start lying. Yeah, I don't.
no, but I mean, you can talk out loud. You can like you've been doing. I mean, you can think out loud is what I meant to say. So yeah, like you threw out your existence, you threw out everything because you try to compartmentalize everything, but now you're trying to be in the flow state.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just saying words.
Okay,
at
those
this
were
point.
words. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think that like I don't think that I think how other people think. So some of these questions are like, I'm like, how would somebody else answer this and also be funny? But
Well, yeah.
to me, it's
Well-
like,
Go ahead.
yeah, I don't really actually talk very much personally about myself. So probably that's what's separate. And I don't think it's the same. I keep it very separate and continue to do that.
Mm. Now, how do I ask this question? Now, the way you brought them up in, like, so you mean like your personal self and then the public persona that you prefer for people to see? You feel like they are separate and not the same?
No, I just think I like keep the context for who I am separate from what other people get to see. Like, I am who I am all the time, but
Mhm.
I just don't feel the need to like talk about my personal experiences. Sorry, I feel like
No, absolutely. So
how dare you?
yeah. Didn't
Just
think it would be
doing
this
it.
question
Yes.
of any question. You made it. You've survived the Kleenex up until the third eye, which is first time tears ever on the third eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we've come to this type of situation with a couple other people that were comedians, and every time we finish an episode, we kind of like talk about, like, we kind of recap everything, because like this is a process that I mean, like how you were saying earlier, like the questions were kind of making you feel good. Like at the end of this, people tend to feel light, and so do we. Like we feel that same energy. Like we're going through this process with a person, and we kind of recap that experience and like what led us to that experience and to feel the way that we did. And with some like there is a sticking point with some comedians sometimes at the idea of, and it doesn't always happen at this particular question, but it will come up, the idea of like who they are personally and their personal stories, and keeping that separate from their like comedy persona and their life in general.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like my comedy persona. It's just like I think I just like, I don't think that many people know very much personally about me in my life. And I think it would be weird for people that I know to find out through listening to a podcast. You know what I mean?
Okay. That's definitely fair. Right.
Yeah.
And then, and I'm not trying to counter, I'm not trying to coax you in any way. What I'm trying to do right now.
No, and I'm not like feeling completely uncomfortable or something like that.
Yeah.
I am just like, I'm overthinking everything that I'm saying, so I don't feel like I'm being perfectly genuine. But then, like, the idea is to be genuine, so I feel like I'm kind of not meeting the mark.
And that's what people kind of get from this, right? Because, you know, everybody's out there having experiences like as different and like similar to yours, and it's like, you know, people get on this podcast and really show people that there's someone else out there, you know.
Yeah.
In one way or another, right? Like somebody's listening to this right now who has been listening the whole entire time, thinking to themselves, yeah, see what she's doing? That's how I would be if I was on the podcast. Like somebody is definitely doing that right now, right?
Awkward as fuck.
Yeah, yes, it's out there. It's out there. And it's like...
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, like, yeah. It's a, yeah. I think... No, I think it's relatable to be a fucking mess, but that's not who I want to be.
That's not how you prefer to relate to people.
That's not who I want to be.
Yeah, but you're also, you know, whether or not you are a mess, and that was your words, not mine, but you're also conquering it on a regular basis. No matter how much it might be pulling you back in when it does, you're still overcoming that and you know, consistently. And whether, I think that's something people can relate to. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And, I don't feel like people would think differently of you in a negative way if they knew more personal things about you.
Yeah, I think it's just hard because like a lot of the things are sad, so it's like I won't really like want people to think that I'm sad.
Yeah, and
I mean, I talk about killing myself all the time, but that's a joke. It's a joke. Yeah. I'm kidding, but I am. Yeah.
But it's okay to be that, isn't it? It's okay. Also, too, sadness isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just a part of life. It's a thing that exists in life, and so which is why we do the podcast the way that we do, so that we can joke through genuine sadness in a way that helps a person even talk about it in ways they haven't talked about it before. You know.
Yeah. So am I supposed to be being sad?
No, you're just supposed to be being
funny,
genuine.
Yeah, I'm trying really hard.
Yeah. So, but
I'm genuinely funny, but I'm not genuinely genuine.
Yeah. So why? Where's your big hang up in being genuine?
I don't know. I think it's just like. Yeah, I mean, I am being genuine. I think I just like to make light of things because otherwise I'd be like such a bummer.
I mean, I can't argue with that. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
That's
what I'm saying, man. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, my life's not been all bad. I just like anything big, and then you're asking these really sad questions. Makes me think of those things. And you're not only asking sad questions, you're saying like, what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you? Not like tell me something terrible or sad.
Like I feel like it's more like it's like an origin story, right? And like you're a comedian right now, so there's like it's not like, oh, she's so sad. It's like, you know, like you guys, like the people coming on here are like such a, I'm gonna mess up with the word juxtapose to yes, to like whatever, you know, whatever it is. Like it's really interesting to somebody who's not a comedian to be like, oh, these are all the things that you went through in life, and this has brought you to like this love of standing up and making people laugh.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, that's how I feel, but I guess I don't ever feel the need to go back and give the context But maybe what you're saying is people are interested in it. But like, I also think that sometimes it's like people use sad stories now as like a way to get attention, and I don't want attention for anything sad that's happened to me.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and that's not what we're trying to do. You know, like I mean,
no, I know that's not what you're trying to do. I'm just explaining why I think maybe I am a little bit uncomfortable sometimes talking about certain things.
And I mean, there are people that come on the show in, you know, in a very genuine way. I mean, not in an intentional way, but don't share a single sad story. Yeah. You know, I mean, of course,
but
like
there's some people that do.
Yeah, and there's some people that do. I think everybody, it's like, it's one of those things where it's, with Star Wars, right? That's the one with Yoda. Mm-hmm. Right?
You're asking the wrong gal.
Not even important. I only know the reference because it's a really good line and it stuck with me. And I don't even think I saw it in the movie. I think I saw it in like a meme or something. But no, I saw the clip. So when there's a point when Luke has to go onto this ship and like learn how to use the Force, and Yoda's teaching him in the swamp. And before Luke goes into the ship, he says, "Is there anything that I need to take with me? Or is there anything I need to bring?" And Yoda says, "Only what you have with you." Mm-hmm. You know, so it's like everybody brings something different to the show and makes it a completely different show. Like your episode isn't like anybody else's episode.
Yeah.
And nobody else's episode is like anybody else's episode. So it tends to be what the person brings to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with all that being said,
yeah.
Has your mind been jostled on the idea of something that appeared separate but now you realize is the same?
I guess like my like anxiety and motivation. So it's like my anxiety pushes me, like I wish sometimes that I was less anxious so that I could get more done, but then I realize as I get older that it's like a little bit of that like buzzing anxiety is like what actually pushes me to be motivated. So maybe without that, I probably wouldn't be like that goal of thinking that I would get more done wouldn't really exist.
That was worth every second it took to get that. That was a sick answer.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude, that people are out there like, fuck yes. Yeah. That's me. You know?
Yeah.
That was a pretty good example of how my brain works, though. It takes a lot to get to somewhere good.
Yeah, it's okay.
It is a nightmare up in here.
Yeah, that is, man. I'm. Have we gotten that as an answer yet? No, that's a pretty unique.
Yeah.
Take on those two things, anxiety and motivation. Like what I don't think I relate to that personally. Like what does that? How do you balance that on a regular basis? Like how do you keep the motivation from being too anxious? And just how do you
Yeah, I mean, I think I like just like have a little bit of like a perfectionist, like hyper motivated mentality, and it's like I want to do well all the time. I want to get things done. I want to do them well. I don't really want other people's approval, but I want to bring something like positive into the space that I'm in, the people I'm around. And then I'll get like nervous that I'm not going to do that. Or I'll feel anxious after I didn't do something that I wanted to get done. Or at the last minute, I'm like, I should have prepared for this better. So then the next time I'm like, oh, well, I knew that freaked me out at the end. I'll just do better up front and not have that experience. So.
Yeah. We're going to call that a third eye chakra unlocked.
The back of my head also fucking exploded. Oh, man.
So, Ansley,
yes.
Keep it moving.
Okay. Final chakra. We're there to the crown chakra. All right. So, Sarah, this is a 2-part question. What is one thing that you can't give up and why? Okay. And what would giving it up mean?
Man. I think giving up questioning things and learning new things, like challenging myself, would be.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
What's so funny?
All right. Ready? Because you said one thing you couldn't give up and because the question is one thing you can't give up and why, and the thing you couldn't get up was questioning things, and what would happen? What would that mean? And podcast would go faster. But that was just a joke in my head.
Yeah,
it was
say
retarded.
it, man. Say it.
Well, I was waiting for it to build. You caught me enjoying it.
I'm always questioning what's going on in Sydney's head.
Yeah. Oh man, it was all right.
Yes,
all right. But it's
I'm
out
sorry.
there.
Yeah.
So when you feel like that
curious.
joke is appropriate, say it in your head.
Yeah.
All right. So, but go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I think like expanding my mind, learning new people, meeting new people. Like that's something I definitely couldn't give up because I get bored really easily. And I think that would be the end of my life because I think I would just crawl in a hole if I couldn't like question things, learn things from new people, have new experiences, push forward and like think about the future.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thinking about the future is probably a source of anxiety. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's terrifying, man. Have you seen gas prices? What's gonna happen?
So Sarah, that was it. How do you feel?
I feel enlightened, dude. I feel jacked and I feel enlightened. And I feel jacked on how fucking enlightened I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still
But-
want to do the Patreon?
I will do the Patreon. I will apologize one more time for being weird as shit, but I I definitely will.
And this is an honest answer. What I'm about to say is completely 100% the truth. Your answer for the lie, like pretending to fucking sneeze so you can clear your throat, is the weirdest single answer ever, but you have not been the overall weirdest person.
Okay, cool. My goal, as we've gotten to, is to always just not be the worst. Like, I just want to be better than the worst person.
Yes. Mission accomplished.
Damn. Hell yeah.
So, and by the way, our Patreon is just $1. Gets you all of our exclusive content, which not only includes the counter to this podcast, which we call Two Jack Bros After Dark, where we're going to enlighten Sarah's shadow self. Did you know that? You know that
damn.
now.
I'm definitely gonna
This
cry.
double
Pay
ambush.
$1 to see me cry.
Yeah, and we also do some fight commentary on Ansley's jiu-jitsu matches and stuff. And we got some coming up. And you reacted.
Oh yeah, no, we just have to do them.
Yeah, we have to do them. And soon. So, and other than that, check out @Cerebellum on all of the cool social medias.
Yeah.
We love you guys,
Yes.
and we're out.
See ya.
Much love.
Two Jack Bros. Two Jack Bros.